Hi there, my name is Amanda Sturzik. I'm a certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor. Today we're going to be doing a standing, balance, and mobility workout. Now, you may have noticed I have some paper towel tubes in my hands. If you've done any of my videos on the library YouTube channel or participated in any of the online sessions I've done with them, you'll know that I work on the principle of using your body weight to strengthen your muscles. And I don't use any special equipment. So today is the one exception. We're going to do a little balance exercise with these. And you can take one and cut it in half. You can use toilet paper tubes, just anything to hang on to. It's just to give yourself a little cue to make sure that your posture is in correct alignment to do this. So the idea is when you are standing or walking, you want to make sure that your shoulders are down and back and your hands are turned in the correct position. So what often happens is that people end up slouching. They sink into their hips and they round their shoulders forward. And look what happens to my hands when I round my shoulders forward. My palms are facing back. So when you put your paper towel tubes in your hand, if you have your shoulders rounded and palms facing back, they're going to remind you that it's not the correct position to begin. So then you just lift your shoulders, roll them down and back. Your palms are facing your thighs. And this is a great way to start, even if you're just, standing in the kitchen waiting for the kettle to boil or your coffee to be made, that you can just work on dynamic posture. So you think about pulling your torso up, making sure that your hips and knees and ankles are aligned, shoulders are down and back, palms are facing forward. And it's sort of similar to, if you want to think about yoga, what they do with the mountain pose. So in terms of walking, the idea is to maintain this posture while you're walking. And I'm actually just going to walk a little bit side to side, and you're going to do this with me. So you can either watch, pause, rewind, and replay it, or you can just check around you, make sure there's nothing that you're going to trip on either side. And I'm going to turn so you can see, right? So good posture to begin, and we're just going to start walking. Excellent. And I've done this with people in their homes where I have them, do some dynamic walking, focusing on their posture down a hallway, in a room where you can move things out of the way. So we're just going to go back and forth. I'm going to come to the middle in a moment, and we're going to add on to this. So the next thing I want you to think about are your feet. Often when people are walking, they're either walking on their toes and not fully using the foot, or they are plunking their whole foot down. So what we want to do is something called heel toe walking, where you start with your heel planting, roll through your foot and push off your toes. Now, I'm going to warn you, it's going to feel weird when you do this. You're going to want to practice it somewhere where you have a wall nearby, because you're going to be a little bit slower and maybe a little bit tippy, because you're having to teach your brain and your body something that they haven't been accustomed to in the past. So don't worry about it if it feels really odd and you're a little bit wobbly. Over time, you will get the hang of it, and you'll find you're doing it when you're outside walking. So remember, still have your paper towel tubes, keep the shoulders down and back, and you're planting. When you go forward with one foot, heel. See, I'm pushing off the back toe, planting the next foot. And we're doing smaller steps, not a regular stride, just to work on getting the hang of it. So heel, push off the back toe, come forward. Good, I'm going to turn around and go in the other direction. Heel goes down first, push off the back toe, other foot comes forward. Good. And as you get a little bit more comfortable with it, you can increase the distance between your feet. And hopefully after you've practiced for about 5 to 10 minutes, you may find you're able to pick up the speed a little bit and feel those muscles working. So that was the end of using these for exercises. I'm just going to put them to the side. And now we're going to do a couple of static balance exercises. So the first thing is working some of the smaller components of your balance system that you maybe not realize that you need to work in terms of exercise and balance and fall prevention. What I'm talking about is your visual system, your eyes, and your vestibular system, what people think of as the inner ear. And you find often as you get older, you work these as much. We get glasses, our eyes get weaker, we maybe don't do exercises with our eyes. And also we are turning our head less. So we're moving less side to side, which is affecting the muscles and joints. So they might get a little bit stiffer and tighter, but it's also impacting our vestibular system, which sort of helps us figure out where we are in terms of positioning of our body. So the first thing we're going to do is called a finger follow, and this is specifically for your visual system. So you take one thumb, holding it in front. You can see my arm is bent, holding it in front, and we're going to move it out to the side, back to the middle, up and down. You're only following with your eyes. So a couple things when we do this, some people do find it makes them a little bit dizzy. We're not trying to make you fall down. So you can always sit down to do these next couple of exercises. So only the eyes. Now we're going to go out to the side, just the eyes, back to the middle, reach up, look up, come back down to the middle, go down towards the ground, and back up. Excellent. You can open and close your eyes, squeeze them shut a little bit to help them reset. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to use our other arm because it's a little bit hard to drag your whole arm across. So again, elbow bent, thumb in front, just the eyes following that thumb. Let's go out to the side. Good. Back into the middle. Let's go down first. Back up towards the ceiling or sky if you're doing this outside. And back to the middle. Excellent. So that was an exercise for your visual system, and you can repeat this 3 to 5 times. I'm going to move on. We're going to expand, progress with it now, and we're going to add your vestibular system. So we're working visual and vestibular system at the same time. So arm is going to go out in front. This time our elbow is straight. So the idea with this sequence is that you're using your eyes, and your head. So we're moving our whole head, still following with the eyes. Ready? Let's go. Okay, out to the side. So I'm moving quite slowly. Excellent. Coming back into the middle. Okay, let's look up, lifting our head, looking up with our eyes. Back into the middle. Again, still moving slowly and with control. Down towards the ground. And back up. Great. Now we're going to do that on the other side. So again, arm comes out in front and you're moving your whole head and you're looking with your eyes. So on the second side, let's go. Okay, out we go to the side. Good. Let's come back to the middle now. And we're going to go up towards the ceiling or sky. Back down to the middle. Let's go back to the ground. And in. Excellent. So again, squeezing, open and close your eyes a few times if you need to. We're going to do it once more, and then we'll move on to the next sequence. The arms straight in front. This time we're going to go up and down and then out. So let's go up. Make sure you're following with your head. Excellent. Let's come back down to the middle. Down towards the ground. Back up to the middle. Out to the side. And back in. Great. Now we'll do it on the second side, and we're going to go down, up, and then out. So let's go down. Come back up to the middle. Keep going. Go all the way up as high as you can go, where your head is comfortable to lift up. Back to the middle. Open out to the side. And let's come back in. Great. So as I mentioned, this is balance mobility. So we're going to alternate between balance and mobility sequences. So now we're going to do a little hand, finger, wrist mobility. So first we're going to do a gentle stretch on our wrist, gently pushing down, holding it for a few seconds. Same side. We're going to slowly push it up. Good. And we don't have to hold it for a ton of time. We're just trying to start to stretch out the muscles and get the joints lubricated. So second side, down. All right. And slowly up. Excellent. And now we're going to do both hands. So you can make fists, and we're going to go around slowly. Good. 5 times. So we're really trying to slow this movement down, get some nice mobility in those wrist joints. Good. 4 and 5. And let's go the other direction. 1, 2, 3. Great. 4 and 5. And just relax them down, shake them out. So I said hand and finger and wrist. So now we're going to do fingers. So just take your fingers, stretch them out, and you're going to start with your pinkies. We're going to move them just one joint at a time. So let's go around. And it's okay if the fingers beside move a little bit, but we're trying to isolate the movement as much as possible. So let's switch directions. Other way. Excellent. Okay, ring finger now. Yeah, I had to think about that one. Around. Other direction with the ring finger. Okay, middle finger. Around. Other direction. Okay, index. You can do a little bit bigger movement with that one. It's got a little bit more mobility. Other way. Okay, and thumb. Big movement in your thumbs. Other direction. Excellent. All right, just shake them out. And then we're going to make a fist. Open it out. Fist and open, in, open. Okay, and now we're going to do a fun little exercise doing hand-eye coordination and then just hand coordination. I'll explain that in a moment. So first thing, you're going to do thumbs touching each of the fingers. So let's go pinky, ring, middle, index. Again, pinky, ring, middle, index. Again, try to speed it up each time and maybe try to look away. But I'm going to make it even more challenging in a moment. All right, just shake it out. That can be a little bit tiring if you haven't moved your hands and fingers in that way. So, and for this one, sit down if you want to, because I'm going to have you close your eyes. So if you're not comfortable standing and doing this, just take a moment and grab a chair. So you're going to do that same movement, but we're actually going to close our eyes. So then you have no visual input to do it. We're just relying on our body. Okay, so thumb and pinky, thumb and ring, thumb and middle, thumb and index. And again, pinky, ring, middle, index, pinky, ring, middle, index. 2 more, pinky, ring, middle, index, pinky, ring, middle, index. All right, you can open your eyes. So if you were sitting down, I'd like you to stand up again. We're going to do a static balance exercise that requires you to be standing. And I'm going to explain first. There's a couple of head positions and a couple of foot positions that we're going to work on, progress through. You might not do them all today. I'm not going to do all of them with you. I'll explain them all, and then you can sort of work on your own to do this. So the idea is we're changing our base of support, center of gravity, by switching up our foot positions. And then we're continuing to work our vestibular system by doing different head movements. So as we do the head movements, we're going to hold it. In this video, we're going to hold it for 10 seconds. But the idea is that I want you to work towards this on your own. So you're getting up to 30 seconds. And then when it's no longer a challenge, change your foot position again. So the foot positions, there's 5. So you wide stance. So hip width or slightly wider, whatever feels comfortable to you, is the starting point. And then going to a narrower base of support, you're bringing your feet together. So the feet are basically glued together. Third position is staggered stance. So 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and then thinking about where your center of gravity is. So you don't want to be leaning or falling backwards. You want to sort of have your center of gravity fall somewhere between the 2 feet. And I'll turn sideways so you can see my feet aren't touching. I have some space between them. They're still under my hips. So the next one, the 4th foot position, your feet are actually touching. So you're still staggered, but 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and then heel of the front foot is touching the toe of the back, big toe of the back foot. And you can see as I did that, right, I got a little bit wobbly. So this one, you can bend your knees, but I want you to try to focus on getting yourself into a position, if this is where you want to be, where your center of gravity again is sort of falling below these, where your feet are touching instead of falling back or falling forwards. And I'll turn sideways again so you can see this. You can see this is my challenging one. Okay, and then the fifth one, which we aren't going to do today, but is basically totally altering your base of support by lifting one leg up off the ground. So when you lift one leg off the ground, there are 3 positions. You can start with just a kickstand. So see, my foot is off the ground, but only barely, and I'm using my standing leg to help with a bit of stabilization. Bend it or straighten it. So straighten it is the most challenging. So we're going to do 2. We're going to start feet wide. And now I'm going to explain the different head positions. So you can turn your head to one side. You can turn your head to the other side. You can tip your head down, down. You can look up on a diagonal. You can look up on a diagonal the other way. That one felt a little wobbly for me. I don't know if you've noticed that I started moving a little bit. So remember, starting with our feet wide, and I'm going to do a head turn to the side position. So you can pick one of those 6 positions, whatever works for you. Let's get our head in position, and I'm going to count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. You can put your head back to facing forward. So that should have felt maybe a bit challenging. Maybe you were like, what are we doing here? Now we're going to change our foot position. So I'm going to recommend staggered. If you do find staggered too difficult, switch to feet side by side, or you can try staggered with your knees bent, but making sure you're getting yourself centered here. Okay. And then we're going to turn our head to a side, and we're going to do 10 seconds here. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. So I've given you a few options. You can, watch this video again, work up to 30 seconds, try it in different places in the house or outside. You're going to find that, it changes up the input you're getting. So it's always good to try in different places. So we're going to do a little bit more we just did static, dynamic balance now, where we're going to do some toe taps. So ideally, you don't want to hang on for this, but if you are feeling a little bit unsteady, you can have a chair or wall or counter to the side we are not working. So we're going to work one leg and then the other leg. So that's where you just need to make sure you give yourself an opportunity to hang on differently. So the idea is a clock. You're trying to tap with your big toe going around. So we're going to do it 2 different ways. Let's get started. I'm going to start with my right leg. We're going out to 12 o'clock, coming back into the middle. Okay, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's go back from 6 up to 12, back to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 12. Excellent. So we're going to do that on the other side now. Counting, because I'm going left, I'm counting 12 down to 6 instead of up. 12, back in, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and let's go back 6 all the way up to 12, 6, 7, 8, or thereabouts, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so that was the beginner level. Now we're going to make it a little bit tougher, where you're going to tap, 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 tap all the way around without bringing your foot back into the middle. And remember, you're just trying to kiss the ground with your big toe. So you're nice and tall, and we're going to go out and tap, tap. Good. It doesn't matter if you hit all the points. Just get yourself to the back, come back around to the front. Excellent. And let's go out again. and back in. Great. Okay, so we'll do it on the other side twice. Let's go out, back out to this, round to the back, come back around. So you can see I'm moving a little bit when I'm doing this, and that's okay, right? We're kind of challenging our balance, and you want your muscles to be able to get responses to pick you make sure they're holding you up instead of always trying to be stiff in a robot upright position. That's not how we move through life. Okay, let's go again. Good. And back in. All right, let's take a break from that. So let's do a little bit mobility. We'll do ankles, maybe knees too. So let's just bring one foot in front and we're just going to lift it up and back, little rocking back and forth. Good. And you can roll side to side. So there's no weight on it. It shouldn't feel uncomfortable, right? Your weight's on your standing leg. We're just trying to get a little mobility in that ankle. Other one. So just rocking back and forth. Excellent. And now we'll go a little bit side to side. Okay, and we'll go back to the first one. We're going to do some circles. So you can hang on if you need to. Let's try to do 5. This is 3, 4, 5, and let's go the other direction. 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. All right, other leg, stretching it out, circling that ankle 5 times in each direction. This is number 3, 4, 5, and hang on if you're feeling wobbly. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and I said knees, so let's do a little bit for the knees. Little circle one way and circle it the other way. I have a ton of bugs hovering around my head. They're bugging me. Good. Other leg. So just relax, little circles below the knee. Okay, and let's go the other direction. All right, so let's do something a little bit more dynamic again. We're going to do some sideways walking. So this is really important to work the muscles on the outside and inside of your legs. So if you have your paper towel tubes around, you can grab them and be nice and tall so that you're not leaning into it, rounding your back when we do it. The other thing I want you to think about is we're not trying to turn to walk. So your toes and heels are facing forward and it's a side step. So let's start to one side. Good, I'm just peeking where my cue is here so I don't go off camera as I start to go side to side. So aiming for about, between 5 and 10 steps in each direction. And when you're practicing this at home, you can go in a hallway and hang on to the wall if that helps you. Okay, we're going to do it a couple more times. All the way out. Excellent. So still thinking about those muscles on the inside and the outside of our legs. We'll do one more. Okay, this is really important. We don't use these muscles enough, so they can get tired quite easily. But tired muscles, sore muscles, that's good. That just means you've worked them, which is really important. So then you know they're still functioning. All right, so let's just take a break. Now, we need to do a little bit for hip mobility, and then we're going to do another dynamic movement. So nice and tall, hanging on to something if you want, and we're just going to do some circles, whole leg. Good, and let's circle the other way. And I just flexed my foot because it makes it easier, then it doesn't hit on the ground as easily when I'm holding my leg out in front. Good, and circle the other leg. And there's lots of different ways you can do this. You can do figure eights, you can have your knee bent, you can go all the way around your body. The idea is just to get that movement in your hip joint. I'm going to tip over, so I can stop for a sec. And this is okay, right? I'm working my balance reflexes by being a little bit wobbly and being able to keep myself upright without falling, without any injury to me. Okay, another dynamic exercise. So you remember when we did the static balance where I had you turn your head? you're actually going to incorporate that head turn into walking. So I'm actually going to back up a little bit away from you and you can see what I mean. And you can go, as I did side to side also. So nice and tall, you're going to turn your head to the side and start walking. And this is challenging your balance reflexes. You may not think it's that tough, but it is that tough. Okay, let's go back again. So if I wasn't filming, I'd actually turn around and do it, but you don't want to watch my back. So I'm going to look to the other side. And going forward. Good. And just another way you can incorporate different components that we've been working on together here to help with your balance, to help with fall prevention. Let's do a little bit of mobility for your spine. So first we're going to do some big waist circles around. Excellent. Down and around. Okay. So we've been doing 5 of everything. Let's do 5 of these. All right, that's 5. Let's go the other direction. Good. This is number 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and we also want to do some rotations of the spine. So just going one way, other way, and let's get our arms involved, just rotating. Excellent. Now let's work a little bit further up, shoulders and neck. So just one arm forward, opening it out. Little rotation in the shoulder joint, which is really important. So I'm doing a figure 8 here. You can do a circle. You can do shoulder rolls, whatever, just to get some movement in there. Okay, let's do the other arm. Excellent. Around. Nice big fluid movement, just feeling everything move. Okay, and like I said, shoulder rolls are really great. So if you do find that figure 8 difficult, just start with the shoulder rolls. You can add your arms, lifting to the height that works for you, that feels comfortable, not forcing anything. Okay, let's go the other direction. All right, we haven't done really anything for our elbow joints, so we're going to do a couple. I'm going to do one arm and then the other. You're just going to circle. So it moves a little bit above the elbow. That's okay. Circle the other way. It's hard to do both and get the movement right. The shoulders want to get involved. Okay, let's go to the other side. So circling one way. Excellent. Circle the other way. All right. And neck. So let's just kind of gently turn to one side, coming back to the middle, gently turn to the other side. Excellent. Back to the middle. First side again. Second side. And let's do some circles. So imagine you're drawing a circle with your nose in front. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're dizzy with this, you can always sit down. Let's go the other direction 5 times. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Just shake everything out. So last one I want to show you is again another dynamic one. Heel toe walking. So we're doing the narrow base of support, and I'm going to do it one side and then the other side, so I'm not walking far away from you. So basically you want to start and you want to get your toes, your heel touching the toes of the other foot. So you don't have to worry about the heel toe where the push off I was teaching you before. This is a different movement. This is like you're walking a tightrope. And I've actually had this, and I've heard of other people doing this, and I've done this with people in their homes where we put tape down on the ground. So it's like that's what you're trying to walk on. So you're trying to make sure that you stay nice and close together and that your heel is touching. So what this does is it forces these muscles further up in your body to have to work longer to keep you upright. Excellent. So it's challenging and you want to slow it down. Good. Let's just go back to the middle here. Heel toe walking is a definite excellent balance exercise that you can do anywhere, and you don't need any special equipment. So that's our standing balance and mobility workout. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the workout.